Cape Town-born designer Balini Naidoo-Engelbrecht partnered with Dove to create a show-stopping gown using braille to allow visually impaired content creator Meagan Adonis an opportunity to walk the Durban July stage in high fashion. Balini has been working on her fashion label to create awareness for visually impaired people and just making them inclusive when it comes to fashion. Well, we hope to be joined by Meagan in just a moment, but Balini joins us now virtually to share a bit more on their partnership and passion for fashion. Balini, a very good morning. Thanks for joining us. Welcome.
Morning. Thank you for having me.
It's a pleasure. Let's start with your unique designs to fashion. Dressing visually impaired individuals.
So yes, I think there's a daily struggle when it comes to clothing identification for the visually impaired. Some of their daily struggles is one, identifying their clothing in a store, and keeping up with the fashion trends.
And speaking of that, what are some of the daily struggles of visually impaired individuals that we don't pay particular attention to?
So some of their daily struggles are identifying their clothing, the size, the color, and also identifying it in a store, the price, because tags don't have braille on it. So constantly they need assistance when it comes to clothing. But there's several other stuff that comes in the design elements, that they still need assistance daily when it comes to identifying products on its own.
Yeah, let's talk about where you include the braille in the clothing and what kind of information do you generally include. Does the braille, include information with regards to color, the size, or even the shape?
So I created a braille identification system. The system helps visually impaired individuals identify the color, the size, the wash key label, and how to style the garment together. So this is printed onto my garment with raised paint, puff paint, so that it's tactile and visible for visually impaired individuals. And I've put it on the outside of my clothing, creating a fashion statement for visually impaired individuals and creating awareness for them.
Yeah, and let's talk about the garment that you designed for Meagan as a showstopper for the Durban July.
So that was really amazing. The theme this year for Durban July was Ride the Wave. And then with Dove 100 Colors, we tried to embrace all that in together. And we created a showstopper indeed. I incorporated braille. So all over the dress, it says, express yourself in 100 colors. And it's in different circles. And we've put African beading around it to bring that African inspired dress all together into the dress. So that was really amazing. And having Meagan, a blind activist, wear it and bring it to life, that was also really, really amazing.
All right. Let me also bring in Meagan, who's joining us on the line. A very good morning to you, Meagan. Thanks for joining us. Welcome.
Good morning. Thank you so much for having us and for having me. I do apologize. We have some connectivity issues on our side.
No worries. We're just glad that you did manage to connect with us. Now, let's talk about some of the social challenges you go through on a daily basis when shopping for clothes.
Okay, so obviously as a young female with a disability within the fashion industry or within the beauty industry as well, some of the challenges that we are faced with are quite systematic. So not being able to identify the colors, the patterns, sometimes, you're not familiarized with the textile. So the braille identification system actually assists us with identifying the patterns and the colors, number one. Number two, it also allows us the ability to be able to pair our clothes. So a lot of the time you're not sure if you're pairing corduroy with wool, whether it looks okay, it feels good, it's actually fashion forward. So those are some of the challenges. But most of the time it's not exactly getting the right fit, the right textile that is comfortable for you and your body, and also not knowing what is currently fashionable in the market. So those are some of the challenges that as a woman with a disability, when it comes to fashion, we are faced with, not being fashion forward, but I think what we focus on is comfortability, which is the most important element of fashion.
You know, Meagan, most people don't even know how braille looks like, never mind the feel. So how has Balini's designs changed the fashion game?
So, first of all, with the whole braille identification system, because we do know that not all members of society or, all individuals are sensitized to braille or are aware of what this braille cells are called. So what it has done, it has raised awareness. That's number one, across board, across the country, across the continent, across the globe. And then number two, it has given an opportunity of communication, not only for the visually impaired, but for the visually impaired and those who have the willingness to learn and understand. So that on its own has created such a dynamic revolution in terms of identifying and communicating, but also bringing awareness and sensitizing society on the issues that are faced by persons with disabilities just through this communication method.
Okay. Now, Balini, am I understanding correctly that braille can only be printed on medium weight fabric, not just on any other garment?
So the technique that I use where I do transfer and raise painting onto my garments, so it can only be applied on medium weight because it holds better onto that type of fabric. So it's just the method that I use to apply braille onto my clothing that will last longer. Other methods that I've used previously are more other tactile stuff that like beading or embroidery, for example, but I think the method I've chosen is something that lasts a lifetime.
Right, right. And Meagan, let's talk about your dress for the Durban July. How much input did you make on the dress?
So with the dress, it has been really exciting. First of all, I'd like to say that Dove has really created such a beautiful, unique opportunity of just embracing beauty in its diversity. So in terms of the input, Balini and I, we first sat down and I told her, listen, I like drama, I like showstopper, I like something that's going to shock everyone around me. And we started to design this beautiful dress. I told her that I wanted the whole drama at the back, the tail, the slit, the one arm, just the showstopper. And I think just me and Balini coming together and designing this beautiful, beautiful dress, and with her element of the braille, just put everything together and the beadwork. By the time we were done and we were doing the big reveal, both our creativity and the ideas that we had exchanged and shared came together and came to life. So it was really, really amazing. And especially for me, being someone who's visually impaired, one would then ask themselves, how are you designing a dress when you can't even see? But Balini captured each and every single detail that I wanted on that dress perfectly.
All right, Meagan and Balini, great chatting to you. Thank you so much, ladies, for chatting to us this morning. And this is an absolute game changer. And thank you so much for taking the time to join us this morning.
Thank you very much. Don't forget to express yourself in 100 colors with Dove Invisible Dry.
I take that. Thank you. Well, I beg your pardon, we just spoke to Meagan Adonis and Balini Naidoo-Engelbrecht on their journeys and the importance of inclusivity and accessibility for visually impaired in the fashion space.